London is an absolutely fantastic city for walking, and that is especially true of the Westminster area. This installment of Time to Travel begins at Buckingham Palace. The palace has served as the official London residence of Britain's sovereign since 1837, when 18-year-old Queen Victoria made it her home. Victoria's grandfather, King George III, purchased the home, originally called Buckingham House, in 1761. It served as the family's private residence. The official residence, the place where matters of state were decided, was St. James's Palace, just around the corner. St. James's Palace was built by Henry VIII in the 1530s. As England's power and prestige grew in the 1800s, it became apparent that a much grander palace was needed. Wings were added to Buckingham House and a grand marble arch erected to mark the entrance. The palace, in its present form, wasn't completed until 1913, when the three-sided building was enclosed with the east front, the side we see today. The marble arch was moved to the entrance of Hyde Park. The palace has 775 rooms. It's open to the public in August and September. A great source of information about the palace and the tours can be found on the Royal Collection website. The changing of the guard, officially known as the guard mounting, is a must-see. From May through July, it happens every day. The rest of the year, it's held every other day, weather permitting, and subject to a host of variables. It's best to check the dates in advance so you can plan accordingly. The ceremony takes place at 11:30, but you need to be there at least a half an hour earlier to get a good view of the forecourt. Another good vantage point is from the balustrade of the Victoria Memorial. The guard mounting takes about 45 minutes. It begins with the new guards marching in from nearby Wellington Barracks on Birdcage Walk. While the old guards are relieved and the new guards posted, the bands play a mini concert, often featuring music by the Beatles or ABBA. A unit is also dispatched to guard St. James's Palace and Clarence House, the official residence of the Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall. Once the new guards have been posted, the old guards march out of the palace through the main gate on their way back to the barracks. Guards stand at their post for about 2 hours at a time. The Victoria Memorial was erected in 1911. It stands in the circle between the palace and the Mall. The Mall is a grand ceremonial road that runs 2/3 of a mile to the Admiralty Arch. The arch marks the beginning of the Mall, which is closed to traffic on Sundays and for ceremonial state occasions. Running along the south side of the Mall is St. James Park. The park covers 58 acres and is a favorite place for joggers and dog walkers, especially in the morning. A large pond offers habitat for birds and some beautiful views of Buckingham Palace. In the opposite direction, you'll see government buildings along Whitehall and the London Eye, which gives over 3 million visitors a year a panoramic view of London. Just past the Admiralty Arch is Trafalgar Square, with its statue of Admiral Horatio Nelson. Lord Nelson is revered as England's greatest naval hero. He was killed on October 21, 1805, as the British fleet defeated the French fleet at the Battle of Trafalgar. Nelson is buried a mile and a half away at St. Paul's Cathedral. The statue stands atop a 185-foot column surrounded by 4 lions. Bronze panels created from melted-down French cannons commemorate Nelson's deeds. Trafalgar Square is one of the world's greatest public spaces. It is used extensively throughout the year for events and exhibits such as a public art project called One Another. During the summer and fall of 2009, volunteers were hoisted atop the so-called fourth plinth in 1-hour shifts, 24 hours a day, to do whatever he or she wished in the name of art. A statue of King William IV was supposed to go on the plinth, but it was never built, and the statue's base has remained empty ever since. The National Gallery overlooks the square. It has one of the world's finest collections of art and is open to the public free of charge. St. Martin's in the Field also overlooks the square. The church, built in the 1720s, is famous for its outstanding concerts. The church is also open free of charge, but welcomes donations. A cafe and the undercroft help support the church. North of Trafalgar Square is Lister Square, and not far from that is Soho, Covent Gardens, and Piccadilly Circus. The word circus is derived from a Latin word, meaning circle. This part of the city is always busy, but at night it gives new meaning to the word bustling. This is the entertainment district and features everything from the latest stage productions and movies to some of the seamier forms of adult entertainment. From Trafalgar Square, you can see Big Ben about a half a mile away. You get there by way of Whitehall. The British government is concentrated along Whitehall, which gets its name from the Whitehall Palace that once covered much of what you see now. In the center of Whitehall, you'll see a cenotaph, a memorial to Britain's war dead. Along Whitehall, you'll see the Horse Guards Barracks. The Lifeguards and the Blues and Royals guard the Queen. They also play a major role in ceremonies. Their parade ground is used for the annual Trooping of the Colors, the celebration of the Queen's official birthday in June. In 2010, it will be used for a different purpose. It will be the site of beach volleyball for the Summer Olympic Games. A few hundred feet from the Horse Guards is Downing Street. Number 10 is the official residence of the Prime Minister. Heavy security restricts all but official visitors, but you can get a glimpse through the gate at the famous Black Door of Number 10. A few hundred feet further on is the Churchill Museum and Cabinet War Rooms. This was the nerve center for the war effort from 1939 to 1945. At the end of the war, the rooms were left just as they were, and as they remain today. At the end of Whitehall, you'll see the Houses of Parliament running along the Thames River. On the north side of the building is the world-famous clock tower with the 13-ton bell known as Big Ben. The neo-Gothic building has 1,100 rooms. It looks old, but it was actually constructed in the 1830s after fire destroyed much of the old building. The public can tour the building in the summer. During the rest of the year, visitors are welcome to sit in the gallery of the House of Commons and the House of Lords while they are in session. Visitors pass through Westminster Hall, the oldest part of Parliament. This was where the trial of Queen Anne Boleyn, the wife of Henry VIII, took place. Just across the road from Parliament is Westminster Abbey. The Benedictine Abbey was founded in the year 960. William the Conqueror was crowned king here in 1066. Ever since then, most kings and queens of England have had their coronations in the Abbey. A visit is well worth the time and money. There is a charge. Over 3,000 people are buried in the Abbey, 17 kings and queens, including Queen Elizabeth I, and notables from the world of arts and sciences, such as Geoffrey Chaucer, Charles Dickens, Sir Isaac Newton, and Charles Darwin. The Abbey has a school and a world-famous choir. Christopher Wren designed the newest addition to the building, the West Towers, added in 1794. Over the doorway, you'll find statues commemorating martyrs of the 20th century, including Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. This part of London is so densely packed with interesting and important sights, you could easily spend days exploring Westminster. But it's all within a radius of about 5 miles, and it's well worth every minute and every step.